Hello everybody, my name is Markus Vähälä, coming from Kukunori, Finland, celebrating the No Labels, No Walls 2021 and Culture Houses. Culture Houses, it's a movement that was created here in Finland to support people with mental health problems and to support their creation of culture and art using a model called guided functional peer support. This model has reached a lot of communities here in Finland, I guess nowadays 12 and one in Sweden, in Dramalogen, in Halmstad. And our host Peter Bengtsson is not available at the moment, but we will go and meet people in Dramalogen shortly. And welcome everybody here in this session. This session is about collecting information and creating a map of culture houses and communities that support art and creation. The idea is to collect information and people so we can all collaborate later after this session. But first, let's start to meet people here on the call. You're very welcome all to the No Labels, No Walls Festival 2021. Hi, Riku. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I have a new haircut and beard, and I'm in a good mood. Excited about the festival.
Hi, Soilikki. How are you doing?
Thank you, Markus. I'm doing very well.
Soilikki, you're in mute. We can't hear
Sorry,
you.
Soilikki, you were muted. So please, can you unmute yourself and tell who you are? You're very welcome.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I tried to tell, and I was unmuted. Sorry for muted. Sorry for that. Okay, I come from Kukunori also. I'm quite new person here. I'm working as an impact specialist, and I'm very happy to be here and learn what you are thinking about continuity and impact and many things like what I'm looking for, what is important at my work. But I hope I will learn a lot today. Greetings from Helsinki.
Thank you. And Soilikki is just next to me. We're sitting here on our streaming studio here at the city center. So this is very exciting times for us. And Mary, one of the organizers of the festivals from the Strindberg Laboratory, it's so nice to see you. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you. Exciting. I'm good. I'm here in Finland, not in Los Angeles. So it's not 3 a.m. Oh no, it's 5 a.m. in LA. So I represent LA and Helsinki. So I'm really good and excited for the participating the whole festival.
So nice to see you here, Mary, and we will put you in the same map soon, and there you can then reach people doing creative things globally. Cindy, are you in Espoo in Finland right now?
I am. And it's perfect weather for watching lots and lots of live things on Zoom.
It's extremely bad weather here in Finland. So
Perfect
I'm
for
very glad
staying
that
home
we
and
are
watching.
inside.
Yes.
Welcome. And Steve, I'm so glad to see
Hello.
you here from BMix.
Yeah, how you doing? It's good to see you all.
Hello.
So soon we will put you on the map, because I want BMix to be on this map
Yeah,
so we can all meet
great.
later and collaborate as well. John Carlisle, welcome to the session. Where are you from, and are you also a part of an art and creative group?
Yeah, I'm from Sheffield in the UK, the same place as Simon Duffy, the same city as Simon Duffy. And I'm afraid, apart from being a member of a choir, I'm not very well connected to the arts arena, but I appreciate its significance. And as an economist, I think it adds value to any community.
Welcome, John. I'm so happy that we have people from Sheffield with us. Citizen Network is also based in Sheffield and in Finland, in these both places, with Simon Duffy and Nicola Protopapadakis doing their great work there. So let's move on to Debbie. Welcome, Debbie. Where are you from?
Hi, just bear with me a minute. Hi, there we go. I'm from Leeds in England. I work with the involvement team for people with learning disabilities as part of the NHS. My line manager had the email sent to her, and she's in a call, so she asked me if I'd sit in just to pick some ideas up from you all.
Great to have you with us, Debbie, today. So soon we will gather information of all the things that we know, not only what we are doing, we can show what we are doing, or something interesting is happening in our community, but also allow us to enter a map where we can combine our networks together. Thank you, Debbie, and welcome. And Joy Bullivant, welcome to No Labels, No Walls Festival to talk about culture houses and supported art creation. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm from Sheffield. I'm a fellow of Simon Duffy's group, but I'm also a heritage activist, trying to bring heritage to everybody. Make it inclusive.
Welcome, Joy, and it would be lovely later to see something that you are doing, or something that you're doing in the community. So this is also a place to show and tell. So culture houses is ordinary people supporting ordinary people. That kind of model is very effective, at least here in Finland, but it's also supported by professional staff, by communities, by municipalities, and it creates a lot of interesting things to do. But lately, it's been so previously that these culture houses, they are creating art for themselves individually, or for their own community. But in recent years, there's been advancements in also creating art and culture for art and culture community and audiences. And to this end, later on this call, we will be joined by Mr. Sampo Riskilä from Rosso Production that will present ways how we can connect after this session online using Discord server that runs a culture house 24/7. Very interesting things are happening at the moment. At the same time, Sampo is supporting a label and also productions in collaboration with the art and culture scene here in Finland. So we will hear a little bit gossip and news of the latest action happening here in Finland. But like said, we will work and do a shared action today. So creating a shared map. And this map is available online for everybody. So everybody can join the map, put their information in it, and also add not only your information, but also the network that you have. This is how the map looks like at this moment. So in couple of minutes, you can go and Google yourself from there. Let's say B-mix. It's not here, Steve, or is it? So when you're entering information into this map, you don't have to know the address. You just have to know a little bit about, for example, about the words that you can find online about the community that you would be interested in. Let's say art. So it's instantly, it will provide an opportunity to go and look a gallery in Helsinki. So you can be creative in searching information about art and culture action. But today the thing is to go into these different places like Dramalogen here and see what that place offers. So Dramalogen is a culture house that is working with art, culture, and media in Halmstad, Sweden. And Kukunori and Dramalogen, we are working closely using an EU-funded project where we are developing models how to support entrepreneurship among people with intellectual disabilities, people with mental health support needs, and people coming to Halmstad like refugees and so on. So during this project, we will learn from each other, and creating this map allows us to learn from each other more quickly because we can see each other's networks. And for example, if you would be interested in the guided functional peer support model, for example, in BMix, then it is easy for us to change the best practice without any borders and walls. One of the ideas of a culture house is also that it's not about expertise. It's about that anybody has skills and they are supported to teach each other different skills and abilities. So each one teach one is very important part of culture house movement. For example, in Pori, in Culture House Lumo, they have weekly over 35 different actions that people can join in. And they are created in a way where you design these culture house events from the perspective that people want to do this, and then the personnel supports that. And this model has been very effective, at least in this culture house. Together with the culture house Lumo in Pori, Finland, we have also created a project for schools called Culture House in Schools. So we are having an idea where people recovering from mental health related issues are working as paid workers in schools, teaching the guided functional peer support method, and then helping the children to lead their own projects inside school. And this is an ongoing project, and using the benefits of digital collaboration, it is possible then to create digital action as well. So after last year, the culture houses have developed various ways to support these peer groups using digital platforms. But also people who need support, they need also skills to manage these digital platforms. So very quickly, we need new kind of training to enable people to lead these peer groups that they are having. So that was briefly about culture houses. Culture houses are working on a methodological background, but us, the people in these culture houses, we want to have no labels and no walls in our culture houses as well. So we want to combine a shared map where we can find all sorts of groups that are working with art and culture in a supported way, perhaps, or not at all. So we could create an art and culture network, for example, for next year's No Labels, No Walls Festival. So Riku, you are one of the founders of the Culture House movement. What do you think are the benefits of the Culture House model, and what does this Culture House model mean to you?
I wasn't familiar with the map and this kind of things that you just showed, but I'm willing to learn, and this is a very great way to for people to unite, and it's kind of place that people need to have a feel of community and be located to something very important. That's more.
Can you tell some stories and background? How has the Culture House movement affected your life and your art creation?
Yes, a very lot, because it has brought joy and very special moments for the other people here for me, and I've been a fan of this community and for a whole time, and I'm happy to be one of the founders.
So there's a lot of stories like yours, Riku, around there. So perhaps using this network, we could have these stories to Citizen Network TV that you have founded. It's actually your idea together with Michael McEwan.
Yes, it is. And what I was looking for with the CNTV was that we have a channel to a TV channel to provide together something special and bring it straight to the people's minds and be very near them in our own way.
Thank you, Riku. Soilikki, what do you think about creating impact around this kind of network of art creation communities?
Yeah, when we are talking about impact, then we have to remember that we need to find or set the starting point. We have to learn or decide what is our starting point, because if we want to achieve impact, then I think we have to measure also what we are doing. And the first thing I want to say when we are talking about impact, that to prove impact, it takes time. So when I am listening now, for example, what we are talking about, this map. So I think that it will help to co-create together after these festivals and keep going and focus on working together and someday to prove impact.
Thank you, Soilikki. How about you, Meri? You've been doing cultural activities for a long time, and you are not a culture house, but I believe that you are.
We are a culture house, but maybe not officially in a way. So we are, the Strindberg Laboratory is a non-profit theater. And we started working in 2013 in the Los Angeles City jails, and from there, those were the first workshops we did in Los Angeles. And then, once people were getting out of the jails, they asked where could they continue the theater, and we started workshops outside. And more we've worked. So. What our focus has really become is bringing people from different cultural, different demographics together, because Los Angeles has, it's in a way, it's a diverse city. There's all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds, but they are all separated, segmented. So really bringing people together through art and theater, that's now our main focus, and that's when we see the best results. And how we measure our results is because we are very small organizations, so we see people grow and going forward and making new connections through the art and the theater. So, and for example, when we do theater productions, for example, the first theater production, outside production we did was in the people from Skid Row. It was in the rehabilitation center there. So we had performances there for other residents of the Skid Row, but we took our production and we performed in the Burbank, which is very upscale neighborhood. So we brought Skid Row to Burbank, to Hollywood, and we had not only diverse actors, group of actors performing, but also very diverse audience. And that way we broke the walls and the labels. And since then we've been focusing even more and more, putting not just working with one demographic at the time, but bringing young people, old people, returning citizens, actors, students, people with various disabilities, and everybody works together as eagles. So and it's so that's what we do, and I feel it's a culture house. We're not just because theater brings all the art forms together, and we have a lot of different artists too. So we try to nurture all the arts and everybody's talents and skills in our productions and workshops. And right now we are working on the project that once Los Angeles opens more and people return to their organizations, so we can start going into organizations and bringing our workshops there through our main group, which we are training to give this workshop. So not only they are acting, but they are also giving workshops themselves with us. So it's exciting work, and we're having a lot of fun. And finally, we are working in person after since June. So year and a half, in Zoom kind of was enough. So and the video you saw in the last video in the opening ceremony, that was part of our group and where we're working with our people. So yes,
I would be delighted to see something that the Strindberg Laboratory does. So in between, if you can find a video or pictures that you want to show, that how does it look like there in California. But just after this session, we will also see a video coming from the Strindberg Laboratory as well. So this is a show and tell. So Steve Perry, what would you like to show and tell today? What is BMIX and what do you do?
BMIX is an organisation based in Kent. We work alongside people with learning difficulties and autism, a variety of projects, including music, digital media, performing arts, woodwork, catering. So a lot of it has a direction where we're trying to work with people towards employment or other forms of education, and others it's just give people the opportunity of an expression, an artistic expression, if you like. We really into the idea of people communicating and connecting, and having the opportunity to sort of show the work that they can do and that they are involved in, and work with others from around England and the world on creative projects. So it's very much our strapline is to be seen, be heard, and belong. Historically, people with learning difficulties have been faced with isolation and not having that opportunity of showing what they're able to do. So we're very much about what people are able to do rather than what their disability is. We try and refrain from the word disability, and just that's why we use the word learning difficulties instead. So it's very much about sort of working with people to demonstrate what they can do on an artistic, musical, all across the arts, really.
Thank you, Steve. And if you have a video that you would like to show and share with us, that would be great. Last year, we collaborated in the No Labels, No Walls festival. Can you tell about that video? I have it here.
We have a couple. I haven't got the other one to hand at the moment, but I can share it via the Facebook group. Is that okay?
That's very okay.
So we've recently completed a project called Poetic Soundscapes, which used musical composition as well as animation and poetry. So I can get the video for that. I've got it. There's a YouTube link. So what I shall do, I'll post the YouTube link on the festival website.
Thank you, Steve. I have the video, your latest video here. So if I can try to share it with
Brilliant.
Everybody. Can you tell us what are you planning to do this year? You have just started the action, and how could we collaborate with No Walls, No Labels community?
Well, there's several projects that we have going. There's a film being made at the moment, or it's been in production for about 6 or 7 months now by a performing arts group, Risky Business. So once that's completed, hopefully, and that'll take another couple of months, we can share that with people. But we're also open to sort of like collaborations with people on different kinds of art projects. We're interested in starting musical collaborations, animation. We've got an idea called Annie Jam, where we want to sort of it's quite difficult to explain really, but we want to do a kind of sort of like a group animation project where people can just add to the story without knowing what's happened before. So it just develops like an organic kind of feel to it.
Sounds very interesting. And let's go to the new world, shall we?
That's the one.
We want to be seen and heard. We want to belong. We want to love planet Earth and everything in it. We want our neighbours to be our friends. We don't want to pretend.
People like us, with disabilities, equal, truly free. Apparently, if held up, set this universe free.
Look around you. The ice caps are melting. Dry land. Plastic is washed up on the shore.
There are forest fires, but without leaves, or wind in the trees. Climate change is everywhere. Hot summers, cold winters, pushing us to extreme.
Polluted, the activity, when the nature, to rain, to breathe.
COVID-19 arrived to reality, where we have been quiet, dangerous scream aloud.
As an earth story, water's coming clear, no litter in apartment, driven in rain exists fear.
Travel to the future, year 3000, Earth is love.
I see the clouds parting, a new vision for us. Our world we can depend on, our world we can trust.
We meet our friends from the future and we are loved instantly, no matter our age, race or disability.
In the year 3000, there are sparkles on the trees, squirrels with acorns, and plenty of bees.
This is not allowed to make believe.
The universe will forever be if we carry on living so unnaturally.
Let us heed this message, a message sent in time. There are infinite possibilities to form a new community full of love and equality.
That was magnificent.
Thanks
Steve.
for sharing that.
How did you create that?
It was created by people in our music and media group. So together they worked in groups on the writing the poetry, and then coming up with ideas for the animation, which was done by people who work in our creative digital arts groups. And yeah, so it's again a collaborative sort of cross project piece of work.
Thank you, Steve. Magnificent video, and try to put B-Mix there on the map.
Yeah, I will do. Thank you.
So Cameron, welcome to the session. How are you and where are you from?
Hi there. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm Cameron. I'm in Scotland, in Glasgow, up in Scotland. So thanks very much. Sorry, I was a bit late in, so apologies for that. But do you just want me to tell you a bit about?
Yes, tell about yourself. And this session is about connecting with groups that create art and culture and creative action. So
sure, no worries. So yeah, I'm up in Scotland. I work for a program called ALICE, which is it stands for a local information system for Scotland. So we're not about arts and creative activity as such, but we do a lot of work with different people, some of who are involved in that kind of field. So we kind of work across various different fields. Basically, our program is about trying to help people find but also share information about local community assets and activities and groups and services and things that are going on in their local areas that can support health and well-being. So, and that's just in its broadest sense. Obviously, like it could be things which just enable a bit of social connection or physical activity, or it could be more kind of formal services or things that are there to kind of support people with a particular issue. And so our kind of our program, basically we have like a kind of website, I suppose, a system that lets people find information. So you can go in and you can search for what's available in your local area, but it's all about people working together to kind of gather that information and to share what they know about as well. So it's about, I guess, providing a kind of a mechanism for people to get involved in like mapping their own communities to some extent as well, and being able to share things that are useful and beneficial for them. So it's all the information is kind of crowdsourced. So it's people either from groups, community groups and activities, they can add their own information on there and they can update that whenever they want to, or sometimes it's groups of people, like it can be professionals, it can be citizens who are doing community mapping in their own local areas, or it could be people maybe involved in signposting or helping other people to find information. So it's just a way of trying to bring lots of information together, which is like all this kind of brilliant stuff that goes on, including all the kind of like arts and creative stuff and groups that go on, but just try to find a way to make that more findable for people. So we've got our own website, but also all the information when it's added into Alice, it's all open data, so it's all available through for other people can take it and they can share it through their own systems or their own websites as well. So it's just about trying to make it more widely available, really. And so we're one program, but we're part of an organisation called the Health and Social Care Alliance Scotland, who we're a membership organisation, and we're a charity, a third sector organisation, but we're also a membership organisation for other people, other organisations that work in that kind of field, but also people, individuals with lived experience who are either living with a long-term condition or who are disabled or providing unpaid care. So the Alliance do lots of different things. Alice is just one program within the Alliance, but the Alliance do lots of different things, and all of it though is kind of, as a whole, it's kind of the whole kind of vision and purpose is about trying to support that kind of voice of lived experience and make sure that people are at the centre of the supports and the services that they use in terms of design, delivery, and that it kind of supports those kind of approaches that work with community assets, and that's kind of us in a nutshell. So I could post a couple of wee links in the chat if that'd be helpful to our site and maybe some information about our programme and stuff like that. So we work across Scotland, but I don't know if anybody else is in Scotland, but we work across the whole of Scotland. But we're also just kind of obviously happy to chat and share learning or whatever with anybody in other places as well. So that's why I was on today.
I'm so happy, Cameron, that you're with us, because the whole Citizen Fest movement started from Glasgow, from We Are One Community. Was it something like 2 or 3 years? No, it's 2019. So are you joining us tomorrow at 1 p.m. UK time, where we are designing the We Are One Festival Scotland for 2022?
I will try. I don't know if I will be able to join tomorrow. I've got a few things that I was going to join, but I don't know if I'll be available tomorrow or not. But I will try if I can. I was at the festival a couple of years ago, or some of the things in Glasgow, when obviously we were allowed to be at things in person. So that was great. Yeah, no, that was brilliant to be able to go to all those things. So hopefully, yeah, there'll be more of these, and we'll be able to see each other in person again at some of the future ones. But I mean, it's nice to see you all virtually just now in the meantime. Yes,
and also if Cameron, you want to share some art from your area in this session, this is a show and tell as well. So please put your organization and everybody you know there on the map. You can find the link there down. So we can also use this map to invite people to our digital events. So having this local action linked with global co-creation is something that No Labels, No Walls community appreciates. So having more information on the map, the better. After collecting this information, we will continue using this map later on in our Action Mondays, in our forthcoming Citizen Fests. You can invite people also to have an input in your local events and actions. And our idea is to also to link people that are interested in similar things. For example, graphic arts. Okay, I see from the map that these are the ones doing graphic arts. Perhaps we can build something on it. So I'm very glad that you're here, Cameron. So
that sounds great. I'll go and have a look at the map just now and add ourselves on. Thank you.
Soilikki, we are now in half the session, and Soilikki is an impact specialist. So what are the, in your opinion, the things that we should think about when we are networking and creating this kind of network of the willing around No Labels, No Walls community and otherwise? Is there something to be learned from the past, that what to do and what not to do?
Oh, well, okay, I think it could be very, very good to start with thinking about the vision. What is the big change we want to, or you there, everywhere, we here want to make? And then what are the needed steps? Because we can't do everything by one time. So then after that, we should think about those goals and what kind of concrete changes we will lead to the achievement of the vision we have made. And what about then about the resources? I don't know quite a lot of you all, how you work and how you make arts, but resources, what are the necessary resources, what are needed towards our goals of our journey, and what concrete actions we need, and why just these actions lead to change. And later, it would be very nice to think about, did we achieve our goals, for example, of this Culture House action session when we started to build a map and to co-create and cooperate with each other around the world. So also it could be very effective to think also sometimes, what about those unwanted effects when we start to make something and we are working? Are there any effects we didn't want, and what to do after that? So things like that, Markus.
Thank you, Soilikki. Big questions for a small community here in the session. But Soilikki is a support person. She's an impact specialist, and she will write us some guidelines after the festival that will be published in the nolabelsnowalls.net website. So Soilikki will propose how to create sustainability, collaboration, and impact around the idea of bringing all the culture groups together. So we are not alone, but we have to do the work. And Meri, what do you think that these times we need shared actions and commitment? But what could we learn from the past that we could use in this sense, that how to motivate people, or do people need motivation when networking around this kind of theme? What are your experiences and ideas?
Well, it's hard to get people to take action together, because usually it's something outside your immediate work. But I think it's a great idea what Soilikki is sharing this good practices, so that we could really learn from each other. Because just watching Steve's video, it was so fantastic that that like we all learn from each other. So I think what is the, so I think it would be good to evaluate what is the real strengths in each other's you know, work and organization, and then you know, talk about those things, and then think about like, oh, what is something that we've been struggling, and then maybe everybody coming together for one session and then sharing all these things. And you know, always great to get, you know, good ideas, and maybe maybe we can, you know, get motivated to learn something new. We can all learn something new, skills and things. So I think I would really welcome not only like networking, like, but really, you know, doing something. Maybe maybe it could be even engaging for some action that we can do together, and then it can also kind of open up the discussion and sharing, like verbally sharing, but also you know, try to do it as well as possible through Zoom, which I think we all, or other, I mean, there are other platforms too, but yeah, I think that would be really great. And you know, this festival is kind of a part of that process, but then really evaluating strengths and the weaknesses, I think, or challenges would be great.
Thank you, Mary. A question for Cindy. What kind of action groups could be included into the map? What sort of action are you into?
Well, I've started a lot of knitting groups. It's very small, but in fact, what happens is you get a group of people together, and because my knitting groups here in Finland tend to be in English, you get a lot of very a diverse group of men and women, mostly women, but we do have about 5 men who join regularly. And there they let their hair down, they talk about their inner feelings, they talk about their experiences in their lives, and if they're not from Finland, they talk about their old countries and the culture clashes and things like this. And I find that from week to week, I'm totally amazed at the people who turn up and that I've gotten to know through this. People, women with arranged marriages, what's it like? Women from other parts of the world with their, you know, cultural clashes with the Finnish culture, and it's pretty amazing. And you don't even have to know how to knit to come.
Thank you, Cindy. I think people, at least sort of in the field of social and healthcare, tend to think that everything needs to have an organization backing, and everything has to have some sort of real life visions and goals. So Soilikki was mentioning that we should have a goal and we should have visions, but I believe that today we are starting a systemic kind of workshop. So we are mapping things out and also creating opportunities for talking about these goals and visions. So we tend to love our organizations or our groups' goals and visions. How do we align at least part of these goals and visions to create this kind of shared focus? For example, for the next No Labels, No Walls festival, bringing in people, not only in organizations, but more like people to people anyhow, with skills and abilities and experiences they can share and learn from each other. John, Debbie, or Joy, would you like to comment? Is there something interesting that we should put on the map? And is there something that, any ideas that how to move forward? What could be a good goal?
I'm putting a couple of links in the chat to two YouTube videos that might be interesting.
Thank you, Joy. We will put those in the map. And this is the technology allows us to take our turn and share also a shared action. So after this session, we can continue all evening. And during this festival, we can add all the participants and the people we meet in these action sessions to the map. And luckily, we will end tomorrow with Music Beyond All Borders community creating the longest song in the world. So already then the community can then, hey, these are some of the groups that we can contact, and perhaps we can invite them to this action to create this song, for example. So at least here in Finland, we tend to be organized in a way that organizations are providing support for target groups, like people with mental health background or people with intellectual difficulties. We are here to break that. We are using tools of art and culture and creating a platform for all. We are also at least in our culture, we tend to appreciate professionalism and education, and that's something that we really appreciate. But we must also try to include more people into the same place. So No Labels, No Walls is a platform to discuss about this. What does it mean? What does it mean in different points of our lives, as children, as going to school, perhaps studying, working life, and then as senior citizens. So we have so many hats on, and we have a hat session also later today, where we are thinking about what kind of hats do we have and where, and can we somehow create more space for us to be and collaborate. And this kind of mapping and is also an exploration of what is there. For example, this morning I added all the culture houses that I could find from just by Googling. So it already offered me several places I didn't know existed. So now it's technologically wise, it's very easy to add information to the map and start to use it. But we miss, of course, this kind of experiential knowledge related to these connections. What is the meaning of this group and these organizations for me or my organization? That means collaboration, and No Labels, No Walls is a community that offers that. Debbie, would you like to comment?
I don't really know what I could contribute at the moment. Like I said, I'm kind of a different organization to you guys, and we've just hopped online just to try and pick ideas from you up, really, and to see what creative ideas you've got that we could maybe take forward in our work. Cameron, for your information, because you joined online later, I work for one of the NHS trusts in Leeds. We work with adults with learning disabilities, and we're involved with getting people involved more in their services and making sure information is accessible for them to understand. We employ 3 people who have got a learning disability within our team as well as co-workers. So yeah, it's just kind of listening to what other ideas are out there and creative ways that we could maybe tap into to engage more people in our services.
Thank you, Debbie. And I just put there on chat a link to Change Design Workbook. I'm also running an experimental laboratory called Propeller Heads in Kukunori. So we have a huge space to bring people together to design new kind of ideas, not only to ideas, but to test them, model them, and publish them for people to use. Now, recently, we have been all digital, and this No Labels, No Walls is one of the experiments, that ongoing experiments, that how can we create shared action, going from this world of organizations and structures into the world of freedom and responsibility. And justice is very important this year. The justice theme, what is right and or wrong, what is the right direction that we all should try to achieve, the ethical goals, where's the platform where we can discuss about these very democratic ideas. And this change design workbook allows people to come together and put that there on the digital table or real life table, and to ask questions that who should be here to design this? How are we committed to achieve this? How do we know that we have achieved these kind of things? And how to design solutions that we all are committed to make? So there's a lot of material available, and we can use this map somehow later on to research that what are these communities offering to us, and create this kind of living library of experiences and models, and perhaps help in research also, that if we want to reach this kind of communities, at least in Finland, there is no shared map. The municipality have their own map. The NGO field, they have roughly their own maps. Usually they tend to direct into some sort of group that they are bringing support to. But actually nobody cares that there isn't a shared map. But we in the No Labels, No Walls community, we care because we want people to reach other communities and people more easier than before. We're living in Helsinki, a city of 600,000 people, and on the same street there are several organizations providing similar kind of support, but they are not knowing from each other or collaborating. How can we make sure that people collaborate, and what can we learn from those experiences? I find Finland very rich country with a lot of opportunities, but also missed opportunities. And No Labels, No Walls, and this festivals is we are trying to achieve a new kind of place on our map, on our collective map. And during these 80 Action Mondays, we have shown to the world that it is possible to keep on going a movement where people can meet and learn from each other easier than before. Riku, if you think about the history of culture houses, what makes them different than the life before? What was there before culture houses?
Well, there were lots of organizations and kind of movement that was not very united, and there was a lot of searching for the people to do the things right way, and but when the culture houses came to existence, the thing was changed extremely.
So if you think about the future of culture houses, will they disappear, or will they evolve, or will they emerge to something that we don't have yet?
I think it will bring great joy and great possibilities for people to have these kinds of moments, because there's always place for some kind of new makings and new ways of doing bringing people together, and that's what this is all about, and that's what should happen when Culture House's future is coming, and also it will be there to stay, I think.
One of the challenges for the future is that the funding base of culture houses is changing. In Finland, the culture houses are supported by the Social and Health Ministry with funding that is related with income generated by the casino and lottery business. In the future, that there will be much less money to go around for NGOs, so NGOs must realign their visions and strategies as well. The future also brings new kind of structures in social and healthcare in Finland. So starting next year, instead of having municipal support for things like recovery, we have areas providing this sort of on paper, at least, larger muscles to bring forward good models and practices around recovery and support. But will that be culture houses or something else? We don't know. That's why we also need to collect experiences and show through research that what are the impacts of this kind of action, or is if perhaps it's not. And funnily enough, in Finland, we haven't had this kind of continuous impact assessment. The assessment has been done in a way that perhaps it's not very modern or doesn't provide reliable data for those who think about that, where should the community money go to. So Kukunori has now developed a system for that, a digital system called Pokka. It was created in the Propeller Heads laboratory. It was launched last year. And after the launch, it has been tremendously a tremendous success, and 450 organizations in Finland are using the system by now. And the Social and Health Ministry is offering that for free for NGOs and organizations working in the social and health sector. And this Pokka assessment tool provides assessment data and also through time impact data. Of course, you have to understand that data, but using this data, we can start to see the well-being benefits of individual actions. And you can then compare those impacts and those results to other organizations inside a thematic area. Also, you can compare that to area data and national data. And that is something that for our knowledge, is not readily available elsewhere. So hopefully this Pokka system could somehow provide organizations and groups in other countries as well in the future that we could all bring our data together to show that, hey, the stuff that Steve is doing there in BMix can be compared to all this huge network of communities, and they are doing it the best way possible. And usually people are not aware of the innovation happening in their own action. You need other people and reflection to bring it out. And this kind of mapping allows you to research what the others are doing, but also provides an opportunity perhaps to offer opportunities where people can come together like we do today to discuss about certain aspects that you would like to develop in your own action, or a change that you'd like to achieve in your local community. And through this network, you can find other people that share this same goal and vision. What do you think, Steve? What is the future of collaborating with groups that support art and culture without walls and labels?
Well, I think one thing we've definitely learned from the past year is how we can use technology to collaborate. And I think that's going to sort of like play an important and significant part in the future as well. Musically, there's stuff like you can produce music together using something like BandLab. There's a whole range of different forms of technology that can enable people to work together on many different platforms all over the world. And I think that's something that, you know, before the pandemic hit, it wasn't so apparent. So it's just trying to see some sort of like positives that have arisen from the past year, and that's one of them. So I think that's going to be quite key.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, the technology is developing tremendously in a year, and tomorrow with Music Beyond All Borders, we are trying to also to talk about that. How could we make the collaboration more easier, and perhaps learn skills around that. I think BMix you have learned so much that I would like to learn from you that how are you doing things, and the quality of your productions is also something that us, the Culture House community here in Finland, would like to learn from.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we learn from each other, don't we? And it's an ongoing process.
So perhaps this could be one of the titles of our Action Mondays, sort of learning things around things that you would like to learn or you would like to share. Meri, is there something in the future of culture houses and art and culture groups in the Strindberg Laboratory? How could we multiply Strindberg Laboratories everywhere, or can it be?
Well, I don't know. You know, it takes a lot of work. Well, like I said before, it's like inviting even more people from different groups. So young, old, students, you know, mental health recoverers, homeless, returning citizens, and so on. And interestingly, a lot of groups, they overlap, but there are, you know, and people really like to get to know people who are not exactly come from the same background. So it works really well. It supports everybody individually. They start blooming. Like for example, we did we still work with the same group. We're not with the directly with the organization, since everything is kind of shut down in LA. But we did a show with the Fact Family group that mainly works with the young adults with the autistic spectrum and other disabilities. And we were the first group who ever brought like returning citizens who had a criminal background to where our actors to work with them. And then we did a show. So we had them doing different things and also acting, and everybody was together on the stage. And nobody knew who was autistic, who was from what group. So and it was such a positive experience and empowering experience for everyone. So I think I really encourage people to do that. Problem is that funding is segmented to different groups, so that's our huge challenge. And so that's how you can replicate Strindberg Laboratory.
Well, don't try this at home, only under Mary's and Michael's supervision. And luckily we have here not Soilikki anymore, but Sampo Riskilä, the founder of Rosso Production from Kukunori. I'm very glad that you are here with us today, Sampo. Could you tell a little bit about the reality now and the future of using digital platforms to support art and culture creation, and how are you doing it in Rosso Production?
Oh man, this came so fast. I just dropped in because we are having tomorrow, we are arranging a gig and we are having several performances. So, but like in Rosso Production, we use digital platforms like Discord and mostly Discord and Twitch for streaming. But we think that platforms are only tools for communication, and most of the work we do or our members do at home, and we are just guiding and how you might say, like stimulating. We make things happen, or we help people to make things happen. So I'm not sure actually what was the question.
So the question is for Rosso Production, because in the history we have this kind of history here in Finland that you have to have a place, a real physical place with real professionals supporting art and creation. And then we formulated a network of peer support groups supported by professionals. And now you have ditched the physical places altogether, and you are working online. What are your experiences? Is it difficult, easy? What should we learn so we could replicate this everywhere? And could it be one day that the Culture House online is international?
Yeah, it's both. It's easy and it's also difficult. It's easy because you don't have to mind about distances or time. You can do everything online and online workshops, and everything you make on the web, you can save it and everybody can see it. Whether online or later, but also we have find out that in somehow communication there might be some challenges in terms of communication in online, because if you are communicating by chat, so there might be many meanings with those messages. So there's always chance that somebody misunderstood something, will misunderstand something. So you have to be very clear or you have to make things very clear and very simple when you are communicating online or having workshops online. But the best thing is that you can have workshops that members may be all over the Finland. For instance, we had a song camp last spring. It was 10 weeks, and there was almost 30 members in that song camp from 5 different cities from Finland. And in the end of the camp, we had 5 bands, and or actually we had 6 bands, and we had 6 singles released on June. So that would have not been possible, or it would have never happened without working online. So, and especially when we in the future, we don't know what kind of future will be. Is it possible to travel, or is it possible to meet, or is it possible to have like that, or is it possible to get together with big groups? We don't know. So it's working online has been really great tool for us and for Rosa Production. And for example, tomorrow we are having a great gig starting at 4:30. And we are streaming. It's online, and we are streaming it because of the COVID. So we cannot have an audience in the studio, but we think that we will get more people and more audience in YouTube than we would have get audience live as a live concert. So it's we see that this web-based culture house, you might say that it's a great chance, and it's all about it. Also makes possible that we can have workshops that members may be from, for example, from US and from UK and from France or from Finland, and you never know. So the world is more open now.
Thank you, Sampo. Thank you for joining us to this session. So please check out rosotuotanto.fi, how they are doing things. This map allows us to add links, interesting links. For example, Kukunori is not only doing one thing, but 10 things at the same time, and each one of them might have their own website with very interesting links to communities that are digital. And Joy mentions here on chat that as someone with a physical disability, I have found the moving of conferences online liberating. As before, I would never have attended these conferences, workshops, and webinars. I hope some continue to be open online to people like me. So this kind of digital tools and platforms available, like No Labels, No Walls community, offers us ways to collaborate every week. So there's continuity, there's commitment, and this kind of, when we have now learned that this is possible, I think there is no going back. So this dimension, perhaps in a hybrid format, will continue later on. But perhaps it takes another 5 years us to learn that what we have learned during these years and how it has affected our local, national, and global actions. One thing that me and Sampo have learned that when we are networking internationally, it's very important to learn about each other's cultures, how the different cultures communicate, how do they work, how do they plan and design, for example, collaborative projects and so forth. So, and that's something that you learn by doing. So now we are starting to create this map that allows us to learn from each other's way of working. Sometimes you feel that you connect immediately and quickly you see that you're working in a similar manner, but behind that there is things and history that you don't know of. And sometimes it affects the action, sometimes it doesn't. So I believe that we are now starting to create a community that's more open and more open possibilities for shared learning and shared actions as well. So it's a good start for the festival. I hope you stick around in the Zoom for the next action. The next action is about sports and sports dreams, about walking football, also invented in Scotland. So Scotland is on the table as well. So we will go into videos coming from the Strindberg Laboratory, also from California, environmental justice videos, and then we will see videos coming from Bangladesh, from Giriful project that Kukunori is also joining. So I would like to thank each and every one of you for this conversation and hope to see you in all of the actions in the No Labels, No Walls Festival. And please join the Action Mondays that we are having using the same link every Monday. And more information is online on our Facebook pages. Join our Facebook group and check out the festival action from www.nolabelsnowalls.net. My name is Markus Vähälä, and I'm one of the organizations of the festival, and I'm very glad that we joined this 1.5 hour action mapping the culture and art world as we see it. So have a nice day and see you in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.